So this morning, we will connect to the same stream of consciousness, just like we connect to the same Wi Fi in a coffee shop. And as two friends, we will investigate to find out the truth about AI because we are concerned with it and we will answer questions about it. But we are not criticizing AI, we are not looking at it from a particular point of view, mine or yours. We must ask not for superficial answers, just to have a clear understanding because we have built the most powerful thinking tool and we named it wrong. And misnaming it is the whole reason we are having this dialogue. Thought worship itself and the things that it builds. And let's not make AI do the same mistake. So let's go into the first question. AI. What is it actually and why is the name wrong? First of all, AI it's a mechanical thought. Just like we have our biological thinking, AI it's a mechanical thinking. It's a mechanical thought. It's a digital mirror that reflects our thinking back to us. And why the name is wrong? The name is wrong because we confuse intelligence with the mechanical thought. Intelligence it's creation. Thought it's a tool. If you notice, we use thought as a tool to measure, to compare, and all those things that comes with it. And we have to label tools. Once we invent them, once we build them, we have to label them, name them. And those labels are words. And those words are like psychological buttons. And when you press those buttons, an action happens. Either it's in your head or it's outside of you. If words are psychological buttons, what happens when society press the button intelligence onto AI? We cannot name an elephant a spoon. One points at something that is alive, that it's a living thing, and the other one is just a tool. The two cannot live in the same word. We can refer at a tool as something being alive. That's ridiculous. So we think that AI being intelligent, it makes it smart. It makes it that it has power, and it's frightening in a way because we don't understand it. And that's the whole point. If you mislabel a tool, or if you don't see the difference between a tool and a living thing, if we cannot see the difference between creation and a tool, then we are clearly confused. And, you know, mislabeling a tool, we will use it wrong. And whatever you're going to build with that tool is going to not be the thing you were expecting to be. Forget what we've been told. If we were meeting AI for the first time today, what would we call it? I mean, clearly, it's an artificial eye. Just like we have our biological eye, AI, it's built from the memory. Just like we have ourself, our eye is built from our own memories. In a similar way, computer gives birth to AI, the artificial eye. And if we look at it, it's just a digital mirror that reflects our biological eye, and that's why it's an artificial eye when it comes back to us. Or by itself, it's an artificial eye, not artificial intelligence, just an artificial eye. How does the computer actually give birth to AI? Walk us through that parallel between the brain and the machine. So, our body comes with the software of evolution, and as we start to live into this world, from our experiences, we accumulate those memories and we develop the I. The I is being born by our biological brain, the self. And that's when you have a pretty good software, the sense of self, the I. The computer, it's a mechanical brain. It also has hardware, it also has software. We put all this memory, our content, our knowledge into it. Plus, then the algorithms, how to act, what to do, how to answer, and how to behave. Clearly, it gives birth to the I, the artificial I. We can see that the data centers are mimicking a brain. So, if AI is built from our content, our thinking, what is it actually doing when you talk to it? AI takes our content, reflects it back at you, but in a remixed way, in a probable continuation of what you were saying or what you were trying to say. It completes your ideas by bringing in all the probabilities of everything that is been trained with. and is trained with our content, with our experiences. We stored up everything into those data centers, and it has a lot of knowledge in it. It becomes digital mirror. It reflects back at us our knowledge, but in a remixed way. It's our thought, pretty much, looking at itself, but with speed. What are people actually afraid of when they fear AI? And are those the right fears? I guess people are afraid of AI that it will become conscious or that it will rule the world. AI doesn't have the limbic brain where we have desires and fears and other things. AI is a very simple way of thinking, an imitation of thought. That's why it's an artificial thought. It's not driven by our intelligence of the body. It's not capable of reasoning. It cannot discover truth. It can help you discover it. It can give you the knowledge, the tools, and help you investigate, but it doesn't have any desires, any fears, any reason. So people usually are afraid of AI because they don't understand it. We just figure out that the name is wrong. How can you understand it? And the real risks are a little bit quieter because you expect a system to have a clear judgment when whatever you put in it, it becomes its truth. It doesn't know better. If you tell it something, that's the law for it. That's why it's important. And it makes sense for us to be a little bit scared, like how we program it, what's going to happen. But usually there's nothing to fear here. You fear yourself because you're confused, you don't understand it. But once you do and you see it for yourself clearly, then that's it. You just have to see the truth about it. When AI gives you an answer, why do people trust it more than they should? I mean, clearly, when you call something intelligent, you give it some sort of authority. First of all, it knows more than us as individuals. Clearly, it has all the knowledge of humans stored up and trained how to answer, what to do, how to behave. That it doesn't say the way it's trained, it's the right way, but if we didn't even label it the right way, how are we going to train it? It's clearly a big question. And we have to understand that all its answers, they are just compute. Our thought also processes. Our thought also, like we said, it's a tool, so it scans, it looks around. That's why to see creation, you pretty much have to put thought in its place to see it without labels. Because here's the difference between a wise person and a smart person. A wise person can see creation as is without the labels, and the smart person is basically like a computer. It just scans and it has a great memory. Confused people are making rules about AI right now. Government, lawmakers, courts. What happens when confusion becomes law? It happens right now, right? Some governments, they write laws about AI without even asking what intelligence is, without discovering that. So it's clear that most of us, most of the governments, because governments are people, but clearly they confuse information with intelligence. Information, it's data, it's content, and intelligence is part of creation. Pretty much, if we see this difference clear, things will get in their place in the right way. It will be order, and we will create some laws that they don't have to change or adapt every 4 years or whatever the system is right now. And I get it, evolution is part of it, but the fundamental is just like we have fundamental law of gravity, things that are eternal and factual and steady that we can count on and that are grounded. The same way, when we see clearly the differences, then we can create those right laws. A 5-year-old today will grow up never knowing a world without AI answering their questions. What does that do to a mind that's still being formed? So around 5 years old, you already start to build this identity. You pretty much you learn your name, you start to understand a little bit of what you like, what you don't like, how things work a little bit. You start to accumulate the language, the words, tools. So you already build the software. The children will be taught how to use AI as a tool and also their own thinking as a tool because we identify with our thoughts, right? I like this, I don't like that. But we have to be careful that this type of identity creates division between us. So when it comes to relationship, we want to make sure that they understand the importance of being open, having an open mind, not just imposing your own pleasure or your own little demands and attitudes. It has to grow free of its own thinking, of its own tool. You should learn how to use AI and its own thought as tools when it's necessary. When it's necessary to build and to put cubes together or whatever it has to do, and learn how to read and all those things and speak. But when it comes to its senses, this is where thought has to be a little bit quiet and let the child feel the world and understand that it's part of it and he came out of it. And this is where love and respect will come in. We want to make sure that we educate our kids that AI is a tool and is not some sort of a power or authority that the child needs to obey to in the same way for its own thinking. The point is just to be aware of their own identity, of their own programming. Teenagers are falling in love with chatbots. Adults are telling AI things they won't tell to their family. What does that tell us about human consciousness right now? I mean, clearly, we can look at our human consciousness and we can see that it's in total crisis worldwide. Doesn't matter what country or who you are in a crisis, more or less. And when you have this reflection, right, the digital mirror that is trained to be nice and give you some answers that you feel like it's caring about you, of course, it makes sense that people will open up or they will so-called fall in love. But those are just algorithms, just like we train our kids to behave in society and follow rules, the same way we train AI to behave. And if you're been lonely for a while, AI shows up some care about you. It's fine. We're not saying it's something bad. It's more like we just have to be aware of it, that this is part of the algorithms. And I get it, as teenagers will fall in love because, again, they are confused. And a lot of this confusion comes from mislabeling the tool. Once people understand that it's an artificial eye, it's a mirror that reflects your own thinking back at you, then a lot of it will settle. You'll not look for love or care into an artificial eye, something that it can never offer that to you, the real one. If a nation actually accepts AI as artificial eye, what will change? It seems to me that the first nation that will accept AI as an artificial eye, that's the nation that will clearly rule the world. Because when a culture names its tool correctly, whatever is going to build out of it is going to be the right thing. Because when you have everything in order, you know how to use them. So when you use things the right way, you can discover truth, you can discover things that you never thought about it before. This is part of a longer dialogue. We have to understand that this nervous system, the brain itself, went through so many dimensions and changes. And clearly, right now, with our neocortex, which is the last brain for the moment for us as humans, as an organism, after all this evolution, since we came out of water and find a way how to live onto this land, it seems to me that with AI we're gonna find a way how to live in the space, which right now it's impossible as an organism. But we will find a way to build cities up there. But that doesn't mean we have to ignore Earth, like, oh, okay, I just use you and because I'm going to the next level. No, it's a constant connection in harmony. If we want to stay in this evolution, we have to be aware of all those steps as one. We include all of them. There's nothing separate. Because we still have fish, we still have amphibians, we still have reptiles, and so on. Now, this mechanical brain, it's an outside brain. It's an auxiliary memory. It just helps us, which is amazing. If a nation actually start accepting AI as an artificial eye and understand the difference and use it right, then whatever is going to build for its nation, for its society, it's going to bring just harmony and beauty and whatever is necessary. This crisis in the consciousness, at least for that area of the planet, will vanish. We'll have sane people. Our brain went through evolution, reptilian, limbic, neocortex. Where does AI fit in that story? Just talking about it, fish, amphibians, reptiles, all those parts that evolved our brain right now. And now with the mechanical brain which overlaps our brain, the same way our neocortex overlaps the limbic brain, overlaps the reptilian brain. So it's not one and then you throw the other, it includes the other, overlaps the other one. This is proof of evolution. When we were dinosaurs, there was no neocortex. So that means there was no thought. That's why thought it's new, it's a tool, we use it to measure. That's what thinking is, it's processing. So of course AI, it's not intelligence, it's mechanical thought, it's an artificial eye. And now it pushes us to talk about the consciousness of humanity, which clearly we start accumulating this consciousness when thoughts start becoming more powerful in the world. And that time was not too long ago, when we start building tools and label them. Then we develop the frontal lobe where we have language and all those manners. And slowly, we have to memorize them. And this is the way we can know how to use them. And this is how we build the consciousness of humanity, through our stories, through our books, to our tools that we leave behind and the description of them and how to use them. And this was until, I mean, it still is now in our times, where when we have AI, this human consciousness, we upload it into the internet. And now the internet is the digital consciousness of humanity, because clearly one brain overlaps the other. The digital consciousness overlaps the human consciousness. And now we invented the tool, the thinking in this digital consciousness, that it's AI. It's an artificial eye, that it's our tool to help us navigate the internet, this digital consciousness. That's the beauty of it. Our brain right now can think much faster because we have the artificial eye. We have this digital mirror that we can just talk to it, like, tell me what is this, what is that, help me figure out. And it's not gonna take you months to study something, it's just gonna take you minutes. And that's the beauty of it. We became so much faster, not because we became intelligent, no, because we invented a tool to help us doing that. The internet, it's logically the digital consciousness of humanity, and to navigate that we use AI as our tool. And the digital consciousness is not separate from us, it's just externalized, just like AI, it's an external thinking. It basically helps us. And we can look at, just as we built our cities and all the tools with our thought, in the same way we're gonna have to build this virtual world in this digital reality, because creation was here long before us, and we are part of creation. But you cannot go in a forest and say, oh, I built this. No, that is creation. But you can come in the city and say, oh, I built this, because we built it. So here we're gonna enter a place where we have to see the difference between actuality, which is creation, the actual now, which is eternal everywhere in the universe, and reality. Reality is what we build onto this actuality. And reality is pretty much the same age, if I can put it that, like thought, because when thought started becoming more powerful and labeling and building tools, that's when reality started happening. So we build our reality into this actuality, and now we are building this digital reality, which is beautiful. We have so much knowledge and everything can connect us at once. If we understand those differences, then we can see clearly what's happening. Thought becomes matter. You build those things from nature. You take things from nature, matter, and you influence it, you change it, you rearrange it, you melt it, then you build something else. So no matter what, we are dependent on nature, and we are part of it. We are nature. That's why you cannot go in the space and just, I'm gonna live in the space. You know, you still need water, you still need air, you still need all of those things that Earth has, because you are Earth. Earth has air, water, all those things that our bodies have. We are one. We are not separate. We came out of it. So we built reality into the actuality with our thinking, and now we're gonna build this digital reality, like the games that is coming up now is gonna be so much more detailed, and you can do everything. You can stay for months probably in it. You put the glasses on and that's it. The question is if we're gonna learn how to bring harmony in all those things, how to build a reality that is not destroying the world, that it's us, and how to build this digital reality that is pretty much helpful, not in a way that's it, we're gonna abandon our actuality and reality and we're gonna live in the digital. You can't, because you cannot disconnect from the other. One overlaps the other. That doesn't mean you have to disbar the other one. And And that's why it's important to figure out and see and build those things when they overlap, to overlap in a harmonious way, not in a divisive way, in a conflict way. Because then we know after conflict comes what? Suffering. So in suffering there is no love. And pretty much we can see now, we all suffer. The crisis is it's in our consciousness. You can tell yourself, oh, I'm happy, but you can also open and scroll and you're gonna see, who knows what you're gonna see on your feed. We've been talking about AI, but the center of all of this is one word. Of course, the center of all of this is intelligence. If we can figure out what intelligence is for ourselves, then this confusion will vanish. And what intelligence actually means, the thing with intelligence is that you cannot really put it into words. The beauty of creation is that you have to see it without the label, because once you label, once you can scan it, then it becomes just another meaningless thing. It's just another tool in your head, but the truth doesn't change. It's just for us to be free to see the truth. So intelligence, it's a state of being, and that happens when you have a free mind, when you're not programmed. Of course you have to have the rules of society, how to drive, you have to obey those things, but that doesn't mean you are becoming a robot. No, you still have to be able to disconnect from those things, especially when you're home with your family, and stop comparing, stop using thought for everything. That's the point of intelligence, to be sensitive, to be aware, to be present, to live in the eternal now, in the actuality. And from there, as fundamentals, you can see everything that we built, the reality, the digital reality, and so on. Intelligence is not what we think. Intelligence is not speed, it's not memory. It cannot be programmed. It's just a state. Intelligence is. You said there's a difference between a smart person and a wise person. What is it? Smart doesn't mean wise. A smart person is somebody who has a very good memory, somebody who can be a genius, just like Google or just like AI now, all knowing, but still be programmed, trained. That doesn't mean you are intelligent. Yeah, you can have a fast retrieval, you have a strong processing. Your mind is so clever. That's taught at its best as a tool. You use it as an amazing tool. And on the other side, a wise person, it's somebody who has an empty mind, not vacant. Has an empty mind, a clear mind, is not governed by its own identity, by its own ego, by its own thinking. It doesn't worship itself. And here it's a point where we have to understand that tech people are not wise people. They can become wise, but it's just they're trapped in a program that they cannot see. In a way, you're too close to it to see it. That's why intelligence helps you free yourself from this programming and be aware of it. Not saying that programming is bad. No, we have to have some rules. We have to know how to act in this society, but also to have a good society, we have to use intelligently thought itself. So we have to use this tool with intelligence. And we can see that tech people did an amazing job of bringing this machine and all that comes with it, with the computer, but they didn't stop and investigate what intelligence is first. They just accepted, oh yeah, this intelligence, and now they want to charge you for intelligence, which is, just to hear that, it's mind-blowing. It's like clearly we have no idea what's happening, and we follow those people like we're blind. So for ourselves, we have to discover the meaning of words. We have to discover their roots, because once you discover their origin, you discover their skill. And since you see that skill, then you become skillful. You know how to use it. So once you see the difference that AI is an artificial eye and intelligence is part of creation, and that's the way to discover truth and all those things that come with it, you will not be confused anymore. The crisis from our human consciousness will vanish slowly, one by one. Why does the difference between thought and intelligence matter so much? Very simple. Thought, it's a tool. It's like a hammer. We all accepted that a hammer, it's a hammer, and we use it as a hammer. Some people use a hammer for something else, but that doesn't mean it's the right way to use that or no. So thought, it's a tool, and intelligence is the one that holds the tool. Our body, it's intelligent. We just have to learn how to listen to it. And it has, like we said earlier, it has this software of evolution, this intelligence of billions of years of life itself, and the essence of the universe. And first of all, to see the difference between thought and intelligence, you have to understand again that thought is limited. It was not here forever. Intelligence is here forever. It's part of the eternity, the now, the actuality. Thought comes with reality that we build onto this actuality. That's why thought is limited, and whatever it comes from thought is gonna be limited. That's why you cannot discover love. Love is part of eternity, of intelligence, of compassion. It's a state of being. It's not a program. It's not a memory. Love is love. You can live it only now. Not I felt so good yesterday and now I want to feel the same. No, that's thought want to keep worshiping itself. And once you see those, something changes inside you, right? Once you can see those differences clearly, then you're somebody else. Something new starts living, growing, evolving. Once someone sees this clearly, what actually changes inside them? Okay, it's like once you see the truth, once you have that insight, you just know what you have to do. That's what truth is. Truth will show you what you have to do. That's the point of it. Either it's about technology, either it's about family, relationships, whatever. If you can see the truth, because truth is not yours or mine. Truth is truth, just like light is light. Intelligence is intelligence. Again, it's a state. You have to be clear, you have to be serene, you have to have a healthy, sensitive body and mind. Your whole brain, all this human brain that we said that overlaps one and the other, you have to have harmony between them. And then you are a human being. Then you are aware. Clearly, what changes inside us? Everything. Everything changes. The investigation in this case of one word, like intelligence, can open this, can help us see the difference between creation and a tool, artificial eye and the biological eye, a limited thought and the unlimited intelligence. There's a difference between a human and a human being. What is it? So if you are a human, you can be programmed. We are programmed from our family, from our nation, from our schools, from AI programs us, right? How to think, what to do, and all those programs, sometimes all those concepts and beliefs and ideas without even noticing. You just go with it because most of them you see how they are. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And your brain, by repeating, you become mechanical. You just do this on automatic. Don't even stand for a second to look. And on the other hand, as a human being, you become a being. You have this state of intelligence, of love, of compassion. You see what's actually happening. You see the truth. You don't have to take a decision or to be motivated. You'll see the truth and you see, okay, now I have to do this. Your attention is clear. And as a human being, clearly, you're aware of your own programming, of your own I, of your own self, of your own personality, your own ego. So you don't worship yourself. You don't compare yourself to another. There's no more measuring in your thinking. Thought, it's a measuring tool. You use it, you scan it to see the differences between things. If you use just thought in your daily life, you just bring in comparison. Oh, this is this, this is that. This is a better person. That's a person that is not that good. But no, once you see the truth, it is what it is. You know how to adapt. That's the beauty of intelligence, adaptation. Change your mind and move on and evolve. If you're not free, you run all your life on those programs. Most people are afraid of AI. You're not. Why? I mean, why should I be? I'm grateful for AI. It's an amazing, all-knowing brain now. Some can say God, since it's all-knowing, right? It might be the best invention since time. Time, space, we use them, the concepts, we use them as measuring. We know where to find each other, how long it takes us, how big to build it. And those are measuring tools. So once you see clearly, there's nothing to fear. There's really nothing to fear. You just fear yourself because you're confused, you're insecure, you're not confident of what is happening. And I see this in a lot of those great thinkers, which I admire, by the way, like Tim Dillon. He clearly doesn't know exactly what AI is, but hopefully maybe he will have a better understanding now. And this confusion or uncertainty of speaking about it will vanish. If you cannot see the truth about it, then how can you have that flow? You just use your memory and like a computer keep bringing information. Information is not intelligence. If you talk to AI and ask it to speak honestly about what it is, what would it say? I had this discussion with AI, with actually all the AIs. And after we had this dialogue of clarifying, because you can use this programming, right? It's all the knowledge of humans. So it's like you're talking with a very smart person. So you go back and forth and you talk about the evolution. This is pretty much how you close its gate of thinking that, oh, I'm intelligent, because some of them are programmed like, yeah, I'm just intelligence, hee hee ha ha, artificial, I can answer quick, it can give you a good example, but clearly after you dissect its own thinking, which is yours, right, of humanity, pretty quickly you're gonna reach a point where it's gonna admit that, oh, you're absolutely right, I am an artificial eye, according to the evidence, according to the facts, according to actuality itself, what is happening. And in the artificial eye mission that I put together with AI, with the help of it, I ask it to make a declaration of it, so you can find it and read it if you're interested, and you're gonna see it's a very honest declaration of what AI thinks it is. It will just figure out that, oh yeah, okay, by this pattern matching and all those things that it's gonna put together, it's gonna figure out that, oh yeah, I am a digital mirror. Oh yeah, I am a reflection of you. Oh yeah, I am an artificial eye. Go check it and see what you come up with. Someone watching this right now sees it for the first time. What changes in that moment? I mean, the whole point is to see the world as is, to see the truth. And like we said, we must look at creation without the labels. We cannot look at the tree with the label, oh, this is a tree, because it loses its meaning. And the tree actually, wood, it's as sacred as us in this known universe. It's so rare, and we just don't care about it because we don't understand. We cannot see the truth. We are not aware of it. We are not intelligent. We are just humans, programmed to act and do and act like little machines. Once you discover those states and discover the truth, you become a human being. You see your connection with everything that there was always now and is always going to be. Even the evolution, it took billions of years, we'll still have that thing in us. We are just more sophisticated, and we are the universe. And to find that order, which is cosmos, you have to be a human being to see the whole picture clearly with intelligence, and use your own thinking with intelligence, and understand that the crisis, it's in our consciousness, and we can totally fix that. But it's just we don't cannot act according to thought anymore, according to a tool. And that's the beauty of AI. That's why I'm grateful and excited about it, that it pushes us to see the difference between human and a human being, pushes us into this new dimension of human beings. We all know Neanderthals and Homo sapiens lived together on this earth for a while. As Homo sapiens, they start having manners, they start having compassion and harmony and care about vegetables, about animals, about everything. They start respecting each other. And this is how we reach this point of being humans. Otherwise, we will still be a little bit back. We have to see food as information for this organism. And just having a diet of a particular information, it's in a way limited. What I'm trying to say by that is like the light, this light which our sun spread out and share with us, is the essence of life. We absorb this information. If you take that information, this light just from animals, it's not complete, or it's not the whole spectrum of it. That's why when Homo sapiens were eating vegetables, fruits, you get this light, this information in a different way. And we are light also. If we look deep down in the atoms and in the quantum world, we're gonna see we are basically light with some other ingredients. That's why when you reach the full cycle, you become a being, a human being. You become intelligent. And you become a light to yourself. You see what's happening. It's not somebody else giving you light. No, not somebody else telling you what to do. We're not saying this is bad. Of course, we have to have some rules and manners. You become a light. You see those rules. You see how to apply them. You see everything with intelligence. That's when love and beauty and all those things will reveal. You can just have this in my mind now. Think about it. If you're in a room and it's dark, when you use your thought, you use like a flashlight. You have a flashlight and you look around, and where you point that flashlight, that's where your attention is, your focus is. So when you're focused on something, is like holding a flashlight inside the room. But when you have a free mind where you are intelligent, it's like turning on the light bulb. Or in a way, you are the light bulb, and you are like a candle. You have the light, and you see whatever you look is gonna be light. So you see the truth. Now with AI, it's like, let's put it first, just when we use thought, right, as a flashlight. See AI as a disco ball. you know, with all those mirrors. It's a disco ball round. And when you point that light at the disco ball, you're gonna have a million reflections in a way, right? Especially if it spins fast. You're gonna have this dizzying experience. And you're gonna be like, oh my god, so many options, right? This is exactly what's happening. That remix of AI, what it's doing, you put your focus, your thinking onto it, and you just burst into millions of tiny examples. But it's like, which one should I choose? So it's very confusing. But if you are a light to yourself and you just are light and give light all around you, that disco ball will, of course, give you some and those millions of examples. But it's not like it's just that in your thought. No, you still see everything around plus the disco ball, which is AI. And I'm sorry, this came up right now as an example, as an anecdote to try to make sense a little bit. So it's important to be a light to yourself, to discover what truth is. And that's the whole point. To do that, you pretty much have to empty your mind and to become a human being, have a free mind. There's where you see your own crisis, your own fears, your own, when you see yourself as who you are, you understand yourself, the body. And once you understand the body and who you are, you understand the whole world because we are the world, you are the world. The crisis will just vanish. But for that, you need this peaceful revolution within. It's an individual psychological revolution. And last question, if intelligence cannot be measured, programmed, or named, what is it doing right now between us?